Namaste students. We are here for our third session on the poem The Lake of Fire Innisfree by W.B. Yeats. In our first two sessions, we have dealt poet's career, the summary of the poem with some technical aspects, modernism, romanticism, because these things are very much connected with the poem. We have to read the poem with relation. So it is called relational aspect. Meaning can be understood in relation. It is called the arbitrary nature of the word. If you read structuralism later on, you will get to know that a word can be understood if it is kept in the paradigmatic chain. I'm not going to discuss those things because it's not your topic. It's a topic of honors. But this is just an idea, an iota of the things. Before that, it's my earnest request to all of you, because I'm dealing different subjects, different topics, different concepts and ideas in different lectures. So I will request you to go through the lectures, even though these things are not based on your particular syllabus. But again, I'm sharing the same idea that literature is something that is not based on any particular syllabus. Beyond syllabus, you have to look through and you have to get the idea about life, about the world. It adds a perspective. So without much introduction, straight away I will reach into the three stanzas of the poem. Let me read out the first stanza. It's very simple. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree, and a very small cabin build there of clay and bottles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for honeybee, and live alone there in the bee-loud glade. Very simple stanza with simple meaning. Why is it so simple? Why is it so humble? But ultimately you have to understand the desire, the urgency, it matters, not the complexity of the words. Again, it is an excellence of the poet that he has been very choosy. He has selected words properly to fit into his emotions. Therefore, when he wants to go outside, he wants to live his monotonous life. And therefore, accordingly, he has distilled his words to fit into his emotions. So therefore, the first line, it's the honest claim. It's the quest of the poet. It's the quench of the poet. I will arise. Suppose if you're really bored by the monotony of life, what happens? You have to get up. Somehow to go outside, you have to charge yourself. Somehow you need the boost. So therefore, I will arise and go now, just now. It's an instant decision, immediate decision that he is going to take. So it is actually a lingering look that he wants to pay to nature. Go to Innisfree, and this is the name of the place. So what he says, these all things actually talk about his instant decision. And he's going to materialize all these decisions that he's going to take right now. And therefore now focused. It has been emphasized. The action is not getting delayed. And a small cabin built there. He wants to make a small cabin. Ultimately, small structure. Structure doesn't depend. Structure doesn't matter. What matters is your peace, mental equilibrium. So he wants to make a small cabin. Maybe it's very small in size, but peace matters a lot. Peace matters a lot. Silence, that matters a lot, so that you can emancipate yourself. You can elevate yourself. If you are in a chaotic situation, even though you are in SE, still you are palpitating, you are perspirating inside, and definitely you are not going to catch any spiritual emancipation or salvation. Even though salvation is not such an easy task, but if I want to speak like this, a small cabin built there of clay and bottles made, it's not the structure. So therefore it talks about, actually this poem is a throwback of romanticism. That is what I said in my beginning sessions. So what type of house or cabins he wants to make? It should be made of clay, and it should be just like a hut, very small in size. and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there. He will start farming. Could you remember the introduction where I have talked about 3 aspects? If you're living in nature, especially in relation to the tribals, I have talked about that they have 3 activities: farming, animal husbandry, and mining. He also talks about the same. These are the references that he wants to be a tribal. Brahmacharya ashram. That's the life he wants to lead at this point of time. 9 bean rows will I have there, and hive for the honeybee. Everything he wants to have, natural. Honeybee. They will sing the buzzing sound of the bees. It will make such a charming sound that he will be happy at that point of time. And live alone in the bee-lord glade. Glade talks about the spirit, the charm, the beauty. In such a situation, he wants to live. So everywhere he wants to attract, he wants to distill peace. In a small cabin, even though it's going to be a very small place, need choto khoti nahi, akash to bado. Hemanta Mukhopadhyay sings this in one of his songs. Need choto khoti nahi. That's not a problem that you have a small house. What matters? Akash to bado. So Akash, it is infinite space where you are standing. So you have to think this. So you have to change your spectrum of your thinking. This small space can give you endless peace, endless happiness, entertainment. You should be jolly all the time. So the moment you are farming, that farming gives you energy. But in city, where is this piece of land? Because you have a very small piece of land where you are constructing. Automatically, the construction has engulfed the entire piece that you have purchased. So there is, even though you like farming, but there is, unfortunately, there is no space. So he wants to go there, and what he wants to do? Farming. Clay and wattles. Wattles, actually it's straw. Straw made, thatched. Hive for the honeybee. It's a wonderful trick, and honey is very sweet. So actually these are all symbols. He doesn't want to make a honey bee or honey hive. But after all, what he suggests is that he wants to make his life so sweet, just like honey, and live alone there. He wants to live alone. He doesn't want any complexity from different persons. So too many cooks spoil the broth. You know it. So he doesn't need. He wants to be alone. He doesn't need so many cooks, so many friends. Because ultimately, the peace will be tortured. It will be disruptured peace. He doesn't need any distress. Because he's going there to be free. He wants to be liberated. If that plan is not fulfilled, it is not satisfied, ultimately there is no purpose to go there. So therefore he wants to go there alone. Sometimes it's a phrase that if you want to have a short journey, be with friends. Be with so many accompaniments. But if you want to have a long journey, you have to be alone. Because the moment, it's very important that you have to think like this. The moment you are in a long journey, you have to have so many kind of queries, questions, curiosities, conflicts, doubts, this and that. So it's not going to be a smooth journey. If you want to smoothen your journey, you have to be alone. So therefore, that's the desire that the poet is trying to talk about here. This is all about the first stanza. Let's go to the second stanza. What it talks. And I shall have some peace there. For peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the veils of the morning to where the cricket sings, their midnights all a glimmer and noon purple glow, and evenings full of the linnet's wings. Purely natural description. Purely it's a story of nature. Nature is really, really attractive. It has a pristine beauty, serene beauty. It can quieten the soul. It can quieten the soul. It can soothe your soul, tortured soul, ruptured soul. That's the quality of nature, and perhaps he brings that color of nature over here in this particular stanza. And shall I have some peace there? So he has focused on peace, not the structure, not the house. It should not be a mansion. You should not be an owner of huge amount of land. Small land, 9 Bs, enough. But what matters? Where does he focus? He focuses on peace, happiness. For peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning where cricket sings. Rich imagination. He thinks at night, cricket, small insect, they're singing. Again, it's a song. So when it's evening, the birds are not there in nature. Animals, they have gone back to their particular home. So nobody is there. But at that point of time, crickets, these insects are singing to charm you, to mesmerize you, to bewitch you. So nature, there is somebody to entertain you all the time. In Bible, there is one line that says that if you have an ear, there is always something to listen to in nature. You must have that ear. Again, in Bible, there is another line, who has ear, who can hear. Somebody who has ear, that person can hear. So shall I have some peace there? For peace comes dropping slow. Think about it. So it's evening, dewdrops, all the leaves, grass, it's fully wet, as if nature has sprinkled water. And just like dropping water, peace is dropping from there. So it's a fountain. Nature is fountain of peace. You have to catch it. You have to respond to nature. If you become very much abstemious, self-centered, self-concentrated, then definitely nature is not going to respond. Nature is there. You have to go there and you have to embrace nature. That's the criterion that the poet is focusing over here. Dropping from the veils of the morning. What an imagination, rich comparison. The poet is thinking morning is a fresh face. And the morning is coming, unveiling the veil. Unveiling means a small thin piece of cloth that covers your face. Burqa type. So it's night, ultimately morning, when sunlight is coming out. The poet is thinking that perhaps you are unveiling the black cover from your face. So darkness is getting dispersed and morning light is emerging on the earth. Therefore veil, rich imagination. Only poets could do it. The morning to where cricket sings. I have already shared this. Their midnights, all a glimmer. The stars are twinkling. Even though sunlight is not there, still nature is not making you very much despondent, disappointed. You are not in despair. Somebody is there to give you the faint light. Even though it's going to be faint, at least being a traveler, you can find out little bit hope of life. So these stars are also doing. At the same time, they're twinkling in such a way that it offers you a bag of peace. Noon, a purple glow. Purple, the color talks about completion, completeness. Sarojini Naidu has also used in one of her poems. The purple, even though it's not purple, but ultimately poet's imagination, it can do anything. It can play in a different way. So purplish glow. So sunlight appears to be a purplish glow and it's glowing, scintillating, so much bright. And evenings full of the linnet's wings. Linnet is bird. And at night, the linnet birds, they are also flying in the sky with their wings. And they're perhaps moving from one country to another country, from one place to another place, from one tree to another tree. And it looks wonderful. In the evening sky, when the sun is getting ready to set, and somehow it becomes slightly orange type, and the birds, they are getting back to their nests. Think about, you'll be inundated by it. So that is what, so everywhere there is peace in nature. That is what the poet is trying to prompt in each and every word that he has used in that particular poem. And the last stanza. I will arise and go now. Again, repetition. He begins with this line and again he begins with the same line in the ending stanza. Finally, he has taken a firm decision. It is an unbridled passion of the poet that has espoused his emotion. For always night and day, anytime. It doesn't depend on a particular time, particular season, any day. At night, she can go there. I hear the lake water lapping with slow sounds by the shore. Lake is there and this water is getting clashed on the bank and it creates a sound, murchona, reverberance. He thinks that the lake is also singing by creating this noise. On the shore, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavements gray, now it's a flashback to civilization, to urbanization, pavements. It's not a part of nature. Roadway, it's not part of nature. Roadway, it talks about modernization. What he says in the last line, he talks about the reason that he wants to go back to nature. Why does he cry to be in the lap of nature? That is what he says. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavements gray. Gray is a negative symbol, ominous symbol, not a positive symbol. It looks grayish. Again, it talks about the palpitation, the frustration, the anxiety, anguishness of modern day. It has all the facilities, but there is no facility of peace and happiness. There is no source. You have all technical resources, but there is no mental resources. That is what the poet is trying to talk over here. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavements gray, I hear it in the deep heart's core. So when he's standing in his city, in his town, where all the facilities are richly available, but his heart remains dry. But if he goes back to nature, there is a moisture of rain or water in his dry heart. And that is what he feels at the bottom of his heart. From heart's core, he feels like this. So ultimately, the poem ends with a clash between modernization and the age of cultivation. Again, there is a clash of Sanskriti, the culture, and Prakriti, nature. You have gone back to nature, and the moment from nature, again you are coming back to culture, you could see the difference. So that is what the poet is trying to aim, to make people understand the difference. Even though we have received much growth, but development is not there. Perhaps I have explained that what's the difference between growth and development. There is enough growth in the society, but it's not developed. We have to reach to that status of development. This is the textual analysis of the poem. We will have another session. As I promised that I will try to dig you to, or rather I will try to drag you to a different level of interpretation, where so many references, intertextualizations will play a major role. Thank you very much. We will see you in our next session.